Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today. golf.breck.org. golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll chat with John Nabors in 30 minutes from right now. John Nabors does a great job. He's covered Arkansas for a lot of years. Significant game tonight, naturally. UCLA, after losing to LSU, has to come back tonight now at 6 o'clock to take on Arkansas in a game there at the Chuck. And it's an elimination game, so someone's heading home after that game tonight. The winner will have to beat LSU twice, presumably on Wednesday and then again Thursday. However, as we look at the forecast in Omaha tonight, it's a mess again this evening. Starting around 9 o'clock, there's the threat of thunderstorms in Omaha. And that threat runs all the way until about 2 a.m. So I'm not a Look, I'm not a forecaster, meteorologist. You all know that. I don't know. I can look at a radar like all of you have. And we've become accustomed to doing as LSU baseball fans this year quite a bit. This is the year where we live in Louisiana. In the spring and the summer, it rains. It just does. I mean, just the weather pattern. It rains a lot here. This feels like the year, though, we've had the most disruptions. It's just starting literally with the very beginning of the season. You're playing that Purdue-Fort Wayne series at noon or whatever, 1 o'clock, whenever they started that first game. And the first midweek of the year was the game against Nichols down in Thibodaux that got postponed. And then the very last midweek of the year was a game against Grambling that got canceled. When you think about the games that got delayed and with the late starts and in the Texas A&M game where you ended up playing the doubleheader, the Tennessee and Arkansas games that went to 1:17 a.m. There's just been a lot. All the sunshine delays in the regional round. I mean, it's been a lot this year. But what I will say is the circumstance that unfolded with LSU and UCLA on Monday night, as much as it sucks, that's why Jay Johnson pushes so hard for those sunshine delays. I'm not necessarily advocating for it, but it's more of an explanation as to why they do it. Because the worst thing that happened for LSU with this whole scenario was you started Anthony Einson, he got 9 outs for you, and then you shut him down. And now it's sort of, and as a result, what happened is at the restart, you threw Case and Evans, and now Case and Evans is not available for you in this game tomorrow. I mean, how different would we feel sitting here today? If that game went as scheduled, Anthony Einson gets you 7 innings, whatever. You finish it off however you got to finish it off. And now you got Case and Evans queued up to go face the winner of Arkansas UCLA with a chance to punch your ticket at the championship series. How different do you feel now? And instead of talking about Zach Cowan, Jaden Newt, some combo of a bullpen day, what if you had Case and Evans ready to roll? That's what the stop and restart cost you. That's why Jay Johnson pushes so hard not to do that, and why we have subsequently the stupid sunshine delays that everybody hates. But this is why. It's why they do it. And I know I've been asked a good bit on a lot of different platforms why they don't adjust accordingly. And the answer is obvious. It's TV. I mean, the answer yesterday was after Arkansas's Gage Wood threw that no-hitter, and they finished that right as we were starting the show, I think. It was right at 3 o'clock when right up at 3, maybe right at 4. No, it had to be 4 if they started at 1. But they started that. They finished that game sometime in the 3 o'clock hour. They finished that game. And they could have had LSU, knowing the weather was coming to Omaha, they could have had LSU and UCLA ready to go at 5, 5:30. They could have moved that game time up. They could have started that game earlier. They didn't have to wait 3 hours from the end of Arkansas of the Arkansas game to the start of the LSU UCLA game. So, but the answer is TV. Why do they do it? Because it's TV. It's TV windows. They were putting that on in prime time. They wanted LSU on in prime time. And you take the good with the bad with those decisions. TV is wonderful. It increases revenue. It's why you're able to build part of why you're able to build great facilities and pay great coaches and to attract the best players and all that stuff. And we get great access to watch all the games for our favorite teams. And it's amazing. TV's wonderful for all those things. But this is where it's a downside because you genuflect at their altar. You allow television to determine start times. We talk about it every year in football season. I mean, last week we did a full segment here when ESPN announced the kickoff windows for SEC football for this year. And LSU Arkansas is going to be at 11 a.m. That sucks. Nobody wants that. 11 a.m. in Tiger Stadium. That is going to suck royally. Everyone's going to bitch about it. It's awful. And I hate it just like you do. And LSU's going to play Vanderbilt in Nashville at 11 a.m. And that's going to suck hard too. But I also understand you take the good with the bad with TV. It's why we get every game on TV. You want to go back to the days where we have Tiger Vision? I don't. I like seeing every game on TV all the time. So that's why. It's just It's a television decision. And I wish it weren't that way. I wish we could have our cake and eat it too. It's just not how it goes. So in any event, that's why it transpired the way it did. Now, I don't know what they'll do here tonight, but if Arkansas and UCLA start and can't finish, you effectively have a major advantage that turns to LSU, because what's happened so far right now, I would argue, is a disadvantage for LSU where you need to make lemonade out of lemons. I mean, you had a great situation starting 2-0 where you were supposed to have the day off today, and Arkansas, UCLA were supposed to play, and instead what's happened is you had to burn Case and Evans. You had to play today. You don't get your full day off. And so we'll see. But if tonight's game with Arkansas and UCLA gets delayed, which I am very much pulling for, I want Arkansas to start to start Zach Root tonight, which they've announced they're going to do. I want them to start Zach Root. I want them to play five innings, 4, whatever, and shut that thing down and restart it tomorrow. And then whoever wins that game on the restart on Wednesday has to come back Wednesday night and beat LSU, because then the advantage flips back to your favor. Because the unfortunate thing for UCLA tonight is they had to use 8 pitchers, 6 of them today, in the game against LSU. And I don't know how many of those guys they'd be willing to bring back tonight. I mean, it's a win or your season is over, so you're going to take certain liberties, but it's an uncomfortable situation for John Savage. That same misfortune would flip on Arkansas tomorrow, provided Arkansas or whoever, if they had to play tomorrow morning, and then whoever won that game had to play LSU tomorrow night, which is really what I'm cheering for, to regain that advantage. Because the disadvantage for LSU now is you've burned Case and Evans, where had Einson be able to give you what we thought he was going to be able to give you, you would have today off and Evans queued up for Wednesday. Instead, you had to burn Evans today, and now you probably have a bullpen day tomorrow, regardless of who your opponent is. So we are going to keep an eye on the skies there in Omaha tonight, because it looks like, I mean, just look at the forecast from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. that you could have some disruption in that game. Now, 9 p.m. is far later than 7:30, or shortly after 7, when LSU and UCLA got disrupted yesterday. But that's something to keep an eye on tonight when those two teams play up at Omaha at the Charles Schwab Field, with the loser going home, the winner advancing to play LSU on Wednesday, needing to win 2 games to advance to the championship series. All right, it's after further review. We are brought to you by Parish Restoration. You can always go to parishrestoration.com. Speaking of rain, my God, like I was in Boston and Bar Harbor, Maine this past weekend, and every time I called home to Erica to check in, she's like, "Man, it's raining again." Just stormed all weekend here. Rained again today. If you've had water intrusion, chances are you have mold. It's why we're the mold capital of the world. It's wet and it's humid. So if you have mold or think you might, that's hazardous, let Parish Restoration help. It's cost-effective, it's efficient. It doesn't matter if it's your home, office building, church, school, a medical facility. They can dry fog your home, your vehicle, largest commercial building in the state. Doesn't matter, size or scale. You want to kill mold, remove odor, get rid of odor like odor from smoke, be it a smoker or smoke from a fire, odor from sweat or pet odor. Have those issues? Parish Restoration can help. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. All right, John Nabors will be with us in 18 minutes from right now, covers Arkansas. And I want to ask John about the decision that Dave Van Horn has made. If you haven't heard, Zach Root is going to start tonight. It's official. Arkansas has made that official. Zach Root is going to start against UCLA tonight. So Root, who's Arkansas's ace this year, and threw just 38 pitches against LSU before being pulled on Saturday after having a day off Sunday, a day off Monday. Root is coming back tonight now to start this elimination game against UCLA. So there it is. Forgive me, I was looking for the tweet, the official tweet from Arkansas's baseball account. It's official that Zach Root is going to start this ball game tonight against UCLA. So they'll go back to Root after he threw 38 pitches against LSU on Saturday, and with this decision, they would burn Zach Root until presumably or potentially the championship series, meaning if Arkansas does beat UCLA, they would have to beat LSU twice without having Zach Root. And I can't imagine they would bring Gabe Gackle back on Wednesday. Like maybe a scenario, through 90 pitches on Saturday against LSU. On 3 days rest, maybe it's a scenario where you're facing elimination. If you needed him on Wednesday, maybe he gives you something out of the bullpen. Maybe he's an opener that gives you what he can give you. But more likely what you would see is if it got to Thursday, you'd see Cade Anderson against Gackle. So we'll see how it all plays out. So many moving parts, but two of the best in the business, and Jay Johnson and Dave Van Horn, going to try to navigate that. Of course, John Savage as well. I don't want to be completely dismissive of UCLA as that team is still in the field. It's really hard to imagine UCLA losing this game this morning, burning up 6 pitchers in that game, now having to come back tonight and face an Arkansas team that has an entire rested bullpen because of the job that Gage Wood did a day ago, no hitting Murray State. So College World Series plays on. Right now, Oregon State and Louisville are playing in what was supposed to be the first game of the day. It turns out being the second game of the day because of the LSU-UCLA restart. But Louisville has a 5-3 lead right now in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Cards have runners at the corners with 1 out, and they're wearing hideous all-black uniforms. The baseball gods should not allow them to advance in any way because of these awful uniforms. Same as UCLA today. It is offensive to the baseball god senses. But despite their transgressions, Louisville is winning 5-3 right now. Actually, they just ran themselves out of the inning. So, they got to run home. Okay, they on the sac fly. So 6-3, Louisville over Oregon State as they head to the 8th. All right, it's after further review. Stick around.
AFR.
The Tigers are in Omaha pursuing championship number 8, and all season long, Action Industries has been walking hand in hand, arm in arm with the LSU baseball Tigers. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU athletics. They've sponsored the mound visits all season long. So if you've been at the box or listening on the LSU Sports Radio Network, you've heard mention of the mound visits presented by Action Industries. Action, a proud partner of LSU athletics. They love to support the home team. They're born and bred and raised and grown right here in South Louisiana. Action Industries Incorporated. Action, INDINC.com. They're an industrial contractor. So if you need work done inside the fence, 2 things are true. You don't get hired if you don't have exemplary safety record.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
And you don't keep getting rehired if you don't do great work. Well, Action Industries beats the industry standard when it comes to safety, and they've been hired for 43 years. They're the best. Give them a shout. Action Industries. Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
And a big cold jug of sweet tea.
Tigers win 9-5. They advance at the College World Series. Just a gigantic day for LSU. You wanted to come out hot after the restart. So interesting to see. I know it's not what in any way, but if you remember back to that Northwestern State game where LSU went into the rain delay, they came out of the rain delay and just were totally flat as a pancake and ended up getting ruled by Northwestern State. I get it. It's a different day, but still, Jay Johnson said it immediately when the team went into, I think Chris Budden on ESPN, when she on the broadcast made mention that when they had the team huddle during the delay, Jay was like, don't expend any energy, go rest, because I want you to come out with the same energy that you were playing with early. getting that energy level back up is so significant. But LSU with a 5-3 lead, how would they come out? Well, Kaysen Evans was awesome. Just allowing the 2-out single in the top of the fourth. The Tigers would have a couple of base knocks. Milam with an RBI single, and Jake Brown had his RBI single in the fourth inning as well that pushed LSU's lead to 7-3. Here's how it sounded.
The 0-1, Brown rips into this one, a line drive, going to take a bounce in front of Salgado and right. Then Karam's off his body. That will easily score. Ethan Fry, Jake Brown follows suit with an RBI single. And it's now 7-3.
A great offensive game for LSU, and it's been a really solid offensive performance in Omaha so far. And, man, what a bounce back for Jared Jones, who, after going 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts against Arkansas, was so impressive in this game. I know he had the home run. He walked, which, by the way, I went back and looked it up when he walked. When Jared Jones walked to lead off the 7th, Jared Jones walked to lead off the 7th. That was just his third walk in his last 48 at-bats. That goes back to the South Carolina series. And that's just really indicative of what's changed for Jared Jones when he went through his slump. It's pitch selection. Early in the season, it was so impressive because he was taking his walks. And sometimes when you're fighting it, it's very natural to think you'll just maybe fall into some bad habits, chase pitches that are out of the zone, increases your swing and miss, and that's why the walks have been down, the strikeouts have been up. But, not only did he walk there at the top of the 7th, but he was also the last out of the restart in the 4th inning, and he had a 3-0 pitch. And he probably swung at ball 4 right there, but they green-lighted him 3-0. I don't love – I get it. I don't want to say I don't love it. You had him on the ropes. You had runners on base. Jones in a 3-0 count. Like, if they were going to feed him one and he could crush it, I get it. Let him swing away. But point being, the big difference for Jared Jones in this game against UCLA as opposed to what we saw against Arkansas on Saturday when it was 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts was just pitch selection. And you get ahead in the count, you're going to have better pitches to hit. Jared Jones did, and that was great to see. By the way, this was Jared Jones during the postgame on that 4-run first inning, which included his 3-run homer.
I think Anthony does a better job as the game goes along, so I knew that he was going to settle in and do his deal. And offensively, we just wanted to start the game on the right note. We talk about winning every inning. Obviously, they put up a 3 spot in the top half, so to win the inning, we got to put up at least 4. And it just so happened, and that's kind of how the game works sometimes. And, we just kind of stuck with it, got off to a good start, took quality at-bats all game long, and led to a lot of success and a lot of runs on the board.
Jared Jones, again, on a really nice offensive day for him personally and for LSU with incredibly. 9 runs, 12 hits. They left 10 on base. A really, really nice offensive day for LSU. Would love to see carry forward tomorrow against the winner of Arkansas, UCLA. Jay Johnson, speaking of which, also talked about where the pitching stands. We'll get to that here in just a second. We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. They're just the best. If you're in the market for a new vehicle or you're buying a used vehicle, I always encourage you, you can shop the certified pre-owned lots, but make sure that you've got South Point Volkswagen on the list as well. Because when you sell more new Volkswagens than anybody else, your inventory of pre-owned vehicles is higher. And they get quality trade-ins as well at South Point Volkswagen. But if you're shopping V-dubs, remember, the great German engineering without the cost, great performance, the 9 different IIHS top safety picks, and also manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. It's South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Jay Johnson was asked after the game against UCLA where the pitching stands now going into Wednesday.
Never to look too far down the road in this tournament. I think you can get yourself in trouble with that. I think if you win the first 2 with only maybe 3 guys unavailable for the next game, you've probably done a pretty good job, and that's probably where we're at. I need to look at it a little closer. Don't have a pitching plan yet for tomorrow because we don't know who we're playing yet via Arkansas or UCLA. Both are capable of winning that ball game tonight. So we'll stay in tune with that and then adjust and that's what this tournament is at times,
It's so true. It sounds cliched in coach speak, but it is true. As much as we sit here and try to talk through and map out what LSU may do on the mound, it is impossible to know without knowing, number one, who you're playing, and number two, who you have available. So, like, I can tell you what I think they're going to do on Wednesday and what I think they're going to do on Thursday, but so much of that depends on what happens on Wednesday. And if you get to Thursday, I can tell you there's just one certainty. There's one certainty, is that if LSU plays on Thursday, meaning they lose Wednesday and play on Thursday, there's one certainty. That is Cade Anderson is getting the ball. Like, that's map out anything heretofore, the remainder of the tournament. Whatever happens Wednesday, Thursday, they get to Saturday, they win it in 2, lose it in 2, get to a third game. Whatever. There's one thing that's certain. That's if they play Thursday, Cade Anderson's getting the baseball. That's it. Like, that's the only absolute certainty for the remainder of it. I think they will look at what happens in the game with Arkansas and UCLA and make a decision about what to do on Wednesday. Still think it's either going to be Newt or Cowan. I don't think I'm going out on a limb there. I think Ianson would be available to give you something, but it wouldn't be a situation where you burn him just because. I think it would be an end game scenario where you'd use him to try to punch your ticket to the championship series and then giving yourself both Thursday and Friday off to reset. And that would give Ianson 3 days because he'd pitch on Sunday. So he'd be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back and pitch on Sunday. So, I mean, I could see it playing out that way. But, again, the only certainty at this point is if you play Thursday, Cade Anderson's getting the baseball the same way that we saw with Skeens and Louder back in 2023. And one more from Jay, where, again, this was after LSU beat UCLA. This was in the postgame. He was asked about, avoiding the Thursday game, like the importance or how you go about preparing to avoid that Thursday winner-take-all game, which they, of course, they had to play in 2023.
One thing I always tell the players is everything is training for something. And, we are in a similar situation in the regional, and a team played very good, and whoever we're playing next is fighting for their season. And so you have to bring the same type of intensity, to counterbalance, that focus and that motivation of that team. And I thought we did an excellent job of that in the super regional last week. And I think we've done an excellent job of it here. I think it's not just winning to us, it's how we win and how we get better at this craft of trying to be one of the elite college baseball teams in the country. And my message to them will just be to use their experience well.
Something LSU has been through. But boy, you would just love to avoid having to play on Thursday. And here's hoping that watching this play out tonight, however it might, puts either Arkansas or UCLA at just a significant and massive disadvantage. We'll see. All right, it's after further review. Let's do this. We'll knock out a break. When we come back, we'll chat with our buddy John Nabors. Does great jobs, covered Arkansas for a lot of years. We know that Zach Root's going to get the ball tonight. So what are the Hogs looking like after Gage Wood's performance yesterday? What's going on with the Arkansas offense? What will it look like if LSU and Arkansas meet up on Wednesday, potentially Thursday? We'll dive into that with our buddy John Nabors as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Man, I got to share the great news with you yesterday and happy to continue shouting it from the mountaintops, or at least into this microphone. Big shout out to Duplessis Builders. Our friends over at Duplessis Builders have been named one of the top 50 pool companies in America. Congratulations to Derek Duplessis and our friends over at Duplessis Builders. Just an amazing honor and a testament to the work that they do. One of the top 50 pool builders in America, and not just one of the top 50. They ranked number 26 on this list from Pool and Spa.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
From Pool and Spa News. So, number 26 in the country. Whenever you call Duplessis Builders, whether it's to build your pool, to renovate your existing pool, to build that spa, putting green, your outdoor kitchen, you're hiring a great company that's committed to our community and doing amazing work. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns.
All right, they're bottom 8 in Omaha. Louisville leading Oregon State 6-3 right now. This is an elimination game, so Louisville on the verge of sending the Beavs back to Corvallis. Following this game will be an elimination game between the Razorbacks and the Bruins. Arkansas, UCLA. John Nabors, our buddy, covered Arkansas for a long time. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Talk about what we can expect. Hey, John, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm trying to avoid the stupid tiger you guys got driving around. I'm sick of seeing it every place I go. But,
hey, don't.
You're going good.
Don't say you guys. I don't know where the tiger came from. The Mardi Gras Mike thing. I think that's really aggressive. I guess it's kind of cool. Like if it was a giant pig, you'd probably love it. But I think I'd probably just rather keep winning the Jello shot thing if I had my druthers.
Trust me, I don't think that's even any competition. I think you guys got it done.
Yeah, the LSU could be done for the tournament today, and it would still be over. Okay, let's talk about where Arkansas is right now. So Gage Wood was awesome yesterday. Throwing the no-hitter, as cool as that was of a moment at the College World Series, what did that mean? Like, what arms were they able to preserve by not having to use them in any capacity yesterday?
I mean, pretty much everybody. I know that, as you know, Arkansas and LSU in that game won. Zach Root, normally their ace, they pulled him pretty early, and he only threw 38 pitches. And so you felt like he was going to get another chance at some point, which apparently is tonight against UCLA, as we found out. But, you had Dave Gackle, who did a really good job, and then you had the Gibbler kid, who's a true freshman, come in, and that's it. So, I mean, they literally have everybody. They have Landon Vitalsheet. They have Ben Bivey. They have Dylan Fouch. They have Aiden Jimenez. They have Will McIntyre. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, obviously throwing a no-hitter is awesome, but considering Arkansas is going to have to win 4 games in 4 days and pitching is everything, last time I checked, if you only use one pitcher and you win the game, that's usually a good thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they did a great job of obviously letting them go. They understood what the circumstances were, but as far as who they got going and who they can bring back, pretty much everybody except for Wood and Gackle, which, as I texted you before, I was like, with Wood, the way he was pitching yesterday, maybe he could go again. But they pretty much got everybody, which is big time.
John, what do you think is realistic for Zach Root tonight?
Honestly, if you can get 4 innings out of him, I mean, that's kind of my expectation. I know that UCLA, of course, having to play like a half game, and different days, and they're facing elimination. You're kind of hoping that maybe that gives you a little bit of an advantage. But with Root, I mean, he's a guy that, did not do overly well against LSU. He's looking for redemption, and he's a guy that's done really good in a lot of different games this year. So I think that if you can just get a nice start from him, get that 4 innings, maybe even 5, depending on how he's going, and if he's shoving and he's doing a great job, keep rolling with him. But I think that it's going to be by committee a lot after that point in time. But none of it's going to matter if you don't score. That's been Arkansas's problem right now. It's just not getting guys in when they have the bases, whether it's loaded or having guys in running and scoring position, doesn't matter. But they got to get some runs. But for me, it's, hey, see what he's got and pull him early, give him a short leash. But if you can get 4 innings, I think it's a huge win.
Hey, John, what is going on with the offense so far in Omaha?
It's the weirdest thing, man. It's so strange where Arkansas the past 2 seasons, they struggled with the offense. And this year, Dave Van Horn talks about doing a lot of different things. And all year long, it's been really great. I think back to last season in the lineup, if you looked at it at the end of the year, you had one or two guys hitting over 300. This year, you have two guys not hitting over 300. I mean, it's been incredible to see the changes that they've had. I mean, Lahibo Loy, the Gold Spike finalist, has been phenomenal. Charles Davalon, their leadoff hitter, might be one of the best hitters Arkansas had in a very long time. I mean, all-American type stuff. Guys that are not just hitting home runs, but getting on base, being patient, being able to drive guys home. And it just, since the World Series has started, it's all gone by the wayside. They're popping up way too often. Sometimes I feel like they're getting a little too tight and trying to hit it out of the ballpark, but in the moment get to them. And in a lot of cases, like it was even yesterday, as great as Gage Wood was, there were two different instances where Arkansas had runners at second and third with no outs and didn't get any runs. That's just unacceptable. So I think that they're just forcing it a little bit. I think that they've become a little bit impatient. I think that game against LSU had really messed with them a little bit. But what I think Razorback fans are hoping for is that they are able to ride a little bit of that motivation and that inspiration from Gage Wood's performance and say, hey, let's settle in. We got this. We got pitching. Let's go after it. But they just seem like they've reverted back to the early season hogs instead of being the ones that we saw in the regionals as well as the super regionals.
John Nabors is with us from inside Arkansas and host of Locked on Razorbacks. John, I can understand the LSU game because you got Cade Anderson. I mean, a lot of people are going to struggle against a dominant lefty who might be the first pick in the draft. Was there anything in particular, though, against Murray State that you saw that led? I mean, is it the ballpark, John? Is it approach? What do you see that's been out of character?
Well, I think it was strange because it's as weird as it is. Arkansas this season hits against lefties far and away better than righties. I wish I could explain it. This year against lefties, they're hitting about 347, and against righties, they're hitting about 300. Don't know why, but that's the case. So that's where I think with the Anderson deal was not to say that Arkansas was just expecting them to just tee off on them, but to struggle as much as they did may have been a little bit of a surprise. But against Murray State, to me, again, it goes back to just forcing it too much. I mean, the best hitters that came through yesterday and really in the College World Series were your 8-9 hole guys with Reese Robinette and Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas went 4 for 4 yesterday in that 9-hole spot, and he's shown some signs of greatness, but that just can't happen, especially when he's getting on base and then you get to the top of the lineup and you can't get him home. Like, that just cannot happen. So I think that they're forcing it. I think that pressure, because they know that they were the favorites going in, they know that they had a lot of people that were expecting them to be the team and being against LSU and knowing that LSU won that series the first time that they faced. I just think the pressure and the all eyes on them and being a huge crowd and everything was just all right there for them, and they fell short. And so it's a mental thing. It's all I can really approach it as, just a complete total mental thing, because yesterday, too, Murray State's guys, especially the guy they brought in late, he was throwing 70-mile-an-hour pitches. It wasn't like he's throwing anything that was just like, oh, absolute gas, watch out. I mean, they just seem to be in their own head right now, and I think that Dave Van Horn, as well as Nate Thompson, they have to work it out for them to try to get their mentality back. But to me, that's the only thing you can make sense is just get out of your own head.
John, I don't want to turn you into a meteorologist, but like we're several hundred miles away. You're in Omaha. I can look at a radar and see that it looks like there's rain in the forecast tonight. What do the skies look like, and what's the forecast there that people are talking about for tonight?
Well, I'm sitting outside right now, and it's actually perfect weather, but it's definitely windy. You can feel the cloud cover coming in. It looks like they're expecting storms, to be honest, and probably could be even worse than what it was last night. It snuck up on a lot of people right around 6:30, 7 o'clock is when it's going to start moving in. So it's going to be fascinating to see this. Because I'm sure LSU fans they thought that the NCAA handled it perfectly last night. I'm sure they all felt that way. But tonight, I'm wondering what's going to happen. It's either going to be one of two things. It's either they're going to wait until the last minute and then call the game until tomorrow. But I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that maybe they learned their lesson from last night, and instead of starting a game when they know inclement weather's coming in, to just wait until tomorrow morning or whenever. But I'm just telling you, from the radar, from what we've been looking at and talking to people, it doesn't look good, but it doesn't look like it's going to be moving in until about 7 o'clock this evening. Okay. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what they elect to do. Do you get it started? But that obviously changes pitching plans. But I mean, John, the other part of it is, too, if you have to play tomorrow, that's 3 games in a day, which with these TV windows makes it difficult. So who knows what they're going to elect to do. It feels like there's a better way, but it's what it is. If there is a delay,
How do you think that affects Arkansas for tomorrow?
I mean, I think it's nothing but a negative impact. You know, I know that people try to play these mind games of like, oh, well, what if they do this at this time? How's it going to impact this pitcher or whatever? I just have a hard time believing that UCLA, considering they had to start a game last night, play a game this morning, lose that game, leave the dugout in the stadium for a couple of hours, and then come back is not an advantage for Arkansas, who played a game early yesterday afternoon, won it, and have had over a full 24 hours to rest up and get locked in. I just feel like tonight is going to give the Arkansas the Razorbacks the best advantage, but it doesn't matter. Hey, it's nothing out of your power.
Yeah.
It happens tomorrow. It happens tomorrow. You may feel I still feel good that Arkansas can win the game and will win the game, but you certainly, if you're a Razorback fan, you're hoping this game gets in tonight because you want to strike when the iron's hot. You want to try to ride that wave a little bit and take every advantage you can. So it may be impactful, but either way, Arkansas's got to score runs because, again, it doesn't matter what time the game's at. Can't win if you can't score, so you got to find a way to do it.
He's on Twitter at John Nabors Show. If you want to give him a follow, you could do it there. The Hogs are minus 395 on the money line tonight. So a massive favorite with Zach Root on the bump here to advance. We'll see if they can get it in. Inside Arkansas and the Locked on Razorbacks podcast. Check him out. It's John Nabors. We appreciate you as always, man. Thanks, buddy.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Appreciate you guys, and really hope I get to see you guys 2 more times up here in Omaha. It'd be great.
I hope you're heading home tomorrow, early tomorrow, and I don't see you again until July in Atlanta.
I feel like one of us is going to be right, Matt. One of us is going to be
That's
right.
That's a fact. One of us will be right. That is a fact. All right, John. Thanks, man. We'll see you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, we'll see you. That's John Nabors. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Always encourage you when you get by Rouse's, check out the weekly ad that's on the website. It's on the app, on social media. They do a great job making deals to save you when you're out doing your grocery shopping over at Rouse's. Make sure you follow them on Facebook and all the social media platforms as well. They do a great job when they got their hot bar menu, which is updated with daily hot bar items for lunch or for dinner for the whole family. And, of course, if you want some beverages, adult beverages, or anything for the kiddos, they got a great selection of, everything over at Rouse's. And they love to source locally when they can. They've been local for 100 years. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Thrilled to be partnered with Rouse's. I'll be out there for the Rouse's remote on Friday from 11 to 1. Hopefully counting you down to Championship Saturday for LSU as they head into the championship series. Hopefully that's what we're celebrating on Friday out at Rouse's. Anyway, it'll be Rouse's on Burbank and Lee Friday from 11 to 1. Hope to see you there. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, thanks to John Nabors for jumping aboard with us there. We did have Shea Dixon talk a little recruiting last hour. I know we're effectively a de facto post-game show today with LSU and beating UCLA 9-5. And we're counting you down to the game, which is set to start here in an hour and 15 minutes between Arkansas and UCLA. Oregon State homered, so top 9. It's 6-4 UCLA with a runner on second and nobody out. So the tying run is at the plate for the Beavs, the number 8 national seed, who is trying to stave off elimination here. Again, runner at second, nobody out, 6-4 ball game. Louisville 3 outs away from finishing this, but things getting tight up there at the Chuck. We'll keep you posted when that one goes final. Quick break. Musso do Tigers in the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
After further review.
Interesting. Had on our Louisiana Sports.net group text, our buddy Ross Jackson, who's our Saints beat writer, lives in New Orleans. And unfortunately has had major AC issues at his home for several weeks. That is a dreadful thing to have happen for any amount of time whatsoever, but especially in June when heat indexes are hitting triple digits. Telling you, if you're running into trouble with your AC and you need it fixed now, call River City's 1 Hour Air. Nights, holidays, weekends, doesn't matter. I love when I get texts or DMs or emails from you all that say, Scone, River City's 1 Hour Air just left my house. Sunday at 5 o'clock, called them, they were here within an hour. I love telling you, I love when I hear those testimonials because it's real and it happens all the time. If you have issues with your AC, call the best. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
After Further Review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Always a big shout out to our friends at Sunshine. Of course, you need that tractor, combine, zero-turn mower, gator. You know where you're going. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. All right, put a button here on hour number 2. Musso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
We lead with one of the best injury updates in Tigers in the pros this season.
Here we go.
And it's one that's been a long time coming. Alex Lang is scheduled to begin a rehab assignment tonight in high A ball with West Michigan. And
Go Langer!
It's been a long road back. Not all the way there, but you'll remember he injured his right lat a season ago, I believe in May or June. It required surgery. He missed the whole season, missed all of spring training. They had targeted the end of May for the return. Took a little longer, but Lang, rehab assignment, gets underway tonight for the high A West Michigan Whitecaps.
Let's go, Langer.
Hopefully he gets out in the ball game, and we'll get you an update on that on tomorrow's edition of Tigers in the Pros. Another injury update. This one not as positive. This one dealing with Dylan Cruz. So Cruz strains his left oblique near the end of May. He goes on the 10-day IL. It has obviously been well over 10 days. He has still yet to resume swinging a bat, but is currently working on building up strength now on his left side. You want to get him back this year because he still can pace for 20-20, which is where he was prior to that injury. Angel Reese coming off of a triple-double, the first of her career. She'll be back in action tonight as the Sky take on the Mystics in a women's basketball game up there in Chi-Town. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Supper Club. They're back open tonight, y'all. Supper Club is closed Monday, Tuesday. Excuse me. They're closed Sunday, Monday. They reopen on Tuesday, so they're open right now. And I shared this with you yesterday in case you missed it. Chef Leighton Carbo, he FaceTimed me on Thursday before I was flying out to Boston. And I'm like, I don't know. Do you FaceTime anybody ever? You ever FaceTime?
Girlfriend. Girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean like friends, coworkers. No. I think Cobble's the only person that ever FaceTimes. Cobble FaceTimes me all the time. Paula, you FaceTime ever?
No, not really.
Yeah, not really. So Chef he's FaceTiming me. And I'm thinking, oh, this is butt dial, right? He's not doing this on purpose. And he texts me, he's like, hey, I want to show you something. Hit me back. I'm like, oh, he was FaceTiming me. So I pick up. He's at the bar at Supper Club, and he shows me a bottle of E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. And I'm like, oh, man, it's amazing. It's a great bottle, by the way. If you're a whiskey person, you know. And he starts to just pan down the bar. And he's got E.H. Taylor Small Batch and E.H. Taylor the Straight Rye. And then he's got all the Wellers. The Weller CYPB, the Weller Single Barrel, the Weller 12, all down the Wellers. He's got Blanton's Gold. He's got all these unicorn bottles, so they just got a massive whiskey dump over at Supper Club. I already tell you, they got the best wine library in town. All the favorites that you love, and unicorn bottles you can't find anywhere else. They got a great whiskey selection, as I just described, and you will have the best meal you've ever eaten in your life. You want to get the Omi beef, like I tell you about? Yeah, Omi beef, which is available at 8 restaurants in the United States. That's the steak that Brandon had to join a Japanese beef cooperative just to have the opportunity to buy that. It's incredible. You want to try it? They got it at Supper Club. And Chef is also starting to get more things on the menu. So if you've been to Supper Club and you feel like you've tried everything, you want something different, he's getting bison in now on Tuesdays and Fridays. And this isn't like bison, like ground meat. This is ribeyes and fillets. It is some of the best meat you have ever eaten in your life. It's at one place. It's at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, we got real drama. It's a tie ball game in Omaha. Louisville was leading 6-3, 3 outs away from advancing. Oregon State has tied it. They've got the bases loaded with nobody out. Drama. We'll keep you posted. Hour 3 is coming up next here on AFR. Whew, don't you move.
After further review.
Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health partner of LSU Athletics and a great partner of ours here on AFR. Of course, Our Lady of the Lake also our title sponsor of our coverage from Omaha all this week with Hunt Palmer and LouisianaSports.net. One thing that's undeniable is when you are a fan of LSU Athletics, you see Our Lady of the Lake present and partnered with everything LSU does, whether you're in the stadiums, whether you're listening or watching the games, whether you're watching us, reading LouisianaSports.net. Our Lady of the Lake takes such great pride being the championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Not only do they offer exceptional care for the student athletes, but LSU students and our community. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, a multi-state health system with more than 80,000 employees. Our Lady of the Lake is committed to their mission and thrilled to be able to offer exceptional medical care.